Once I have empty topology, what I need is to drag and drop two routers. So I will just hold down shift and drag and drop two routers. Once I have my two routers, all I need to do is just name them so it will make sense to us. Okay, I'll just double click it and name it R1 and R2 and connect them by selecting the cable and put our routers on. Okay, so I can do it two ways. Either I can just click here and they will both be on, or I can right click individually and start them. While they booting up, what we can do is console them in. We can do it two ways. Either we right click and click console and individually, and we go here number 2 and console, or we can just click here this icon and we will be able to console them in both. In my case, I'm using Secure RT, but on your case you might be using Betty, and two windows will open with different background than this, but the booting process is the same. Okay, while we just waiting for the routers, I'll just change the color of this to white and change the font as well, make it look bigger so our topology will look nice. We can see it from 5 on. If we go here and change the color by selecting 16, click OK. I've done it a couple of times by now. So okay, we're just waiting for our routers to come up. Once the routers finish the booting process, we will see this screen, and if we go to R1 as well, we will see the same screen. And what we need to do is start the configuration by assigning IP addresses. So we need to go to global configuration mode and change the name so it will reflect on our topology. We'll change to R1, and when we go to R2 as well, we will change it. In here, first of all, we need to enable the functionality of IPv6 on our router by writing down IPv6 unicast routing, enter, and now is enabled. We'll go under the interface and assign IP addresses. IPv6, that is the command you always start with if you are configuring anything with IPv6, and we will use the address of 2001 column db8 db8 column 0 column 12 column 1/64 and no shut on this side. So we will go to R2 and do the same thing quickly. Host name R2 and IPv6 unicast routing interface, and we will go inside the interface with 1, which is 0/0, and start with IPv6 address, and the address we need should be same network as our other address, db8 column 0 column 12 column 2/64 and no shut. By now we should be able to ping the other side, so I'll just copy this bit of the network and write down ping. You don't need to write down anything ping IPv6. No, you only need to write down ping, and routers are smart enough to figure out that you want to ping IPv6 once you write the address. So that is success. That's good. So what we're going to do is, let's go back to the topology, and I will go to R1 and create loopbags, and go to R2 and create loopbags. So these loopbags should not be able to ping each other, because R2 is not does not know anything about these loopbags, and R1 does not know anything about these loopbags. So at the end of the lab, the concept of this lab is just educating these routers about the other routes, so they should be able to ping each other and have a full connectivity. Okay, let's go back to the console and start with R1 and create the loopback addresses. Exit out of your loopback interfaces, and let's start with loopback 2. Okay, and IPv6. On either way, we are creating 2, so we'll go back and create 1 as well. And the network we will use is 2001 db8 semicolon a12 semicolon 200 column. I keep saying semicolon, but that's not semicolon, that's a column. Enter, and exit out of here, go back and create loopback 1, and there's no point of me writing it down again. So what I will do is I will just change the bit that I want to change in here, and that's it. Yeah, okay. So show IPv6 interface brief. We should see the addresses that we assigned, and this is our connection to the R2. So that's good, everything is up. Show IPv6 interface. Okay, so we did that. Yeah, okay, let's go to R2 and do the same. We don't need to do same thing twice. So if we go to global configuration mode and create our loopbacks by starting with loopback 1, and this time we're doing it in order. So IPv6 address 00. It's all about repetition, to be honest with you. If you want to master these commands, you just need to keep labbing every day if you can. Some people cannot, but I believe if you are determined enough, you will be able to lab every day until you master it. And once you master it, you need to lab more, so you'll be the best that ever was. Just kidding. Interface loopback 2, and just the same is the same format of IP address. So it's 09, is it 09? Yeah, semicolon, not semicolon, 0. Yeah, so enter. Okay, show IPv6 interface brief, and yep, that is our IP address is all configured, IPv6. Okay, so we done the verification that our IP address are up and our are there, and our protocol and the interface is up. What we need to do is we need to test it to ping each other these IP addresses. So, but that's is a guarantee that they will not be able to ping each other. So if I go to R1 and ping one of the interfaces, loopback interfaces on R2, and that is no valid destination, it will just keep saying. But now let's educate R1 and tell R1 this route exists and the way to get there. Yeah, okay, we'll go to R1 configuration mode and config T. That's how you got there, and we'll start with IPv6 route, and we'll say to route space. Okay, so that's the route we wanna R2 to get. Okay, all the IP address, you can go there by going through 0/0 gigabit 0/0. So what we tell in R1 is, if you want to get any interfaces that is here, which is the one that we gave the IP address, what was it? Okay, so let me select the bin. This IP address, which is behind R2, you can go to gigabit Ethernet 0/0. So the interface that's gigabit Ethernet 0/0 is this one. Yeah, that interface. Okay, so we're pointing it to just go there. If we go back out of it and ping the same IP address that was not success before, we should be able to ping. Okay, something is wrong here. So actually it will not ping, that will not succeed because I'm missing a command. So let's go back to global config and do the same command and add an IP address, because we did not add an IP address, that's why it's not working. So our command was IPv6 route, and the network that we want was 2001 column A, DP8 semicolon A10 column 10 column /64, and we tell the interface, remember, 0/0, but we need to tell the IP address as well of the interface, and this is the IP address of the interface. Okay, if we just go to R2 and copy that, it will just make our configuration a lot easy, and enter it. Okay, and this is our full command. Yeah, so if we go to the beginning, that's the full command. Okay, enter and go out of it, and Bing, if we just go up instead of writing it down, we should have a success message there. Something is wrong with GNS3, but we can see 3 out of 5 is success messages, so that's good. Okay, so let's go and create more interfaces, more routes as well. So let's just go back up and create this default route, IPv6 static route, not a default route, 2000. Let me just copy and paste this, much more easier when we do that, because it will save us a time, and write down the same IP address, because that is the IP address of R2. So I'll just press enter and try to ping one of the networks on R2. Okay, what's wrong with this? Oh yeah, that's not in my clipboard, so yeah. Okay, one should be able to ping it success, so that's good. We're done with R1. Let's go to R2 and do the same configuration. Okay, config T IPv6 route, and we should give the IP address that we want, which is that, and this IP address is the loopback addresses that we created in R1. So if we just go up and give the R1 show IPv6 interface brief, I'll just want to confirm with you that this is the IP address I'm talking about. Okay, and this is the IP address that we need to point to R2 to tell R2 that if you want to reach, if anyone want to reach this IP address, they can go, you can point it to there, yeah, and enter. Okay, and let's create, because if you remember on R1 we have 2 loopback addresses, so we created this loopback address. We need to create this loopback address for it as well, the static route, and go up one more time, and all we need to change is here 2 will be 200, and this will be 2 as well, so enter. And if we ping from here, ping which IP address, that IP address, let's say, okay, enter, success. So that is the exact way of doing it, and the quickest way of writing IPv6 is copying and pasting. That's the tip for you. So if we just do it again on the other loopback address, loopback 1 on R1, and ping it from from R2, is success. So that's all about it. Thanks for watching.